Do you want to see how I rebuilt this Granada team and turned it into this Granada team, all while using the tactic we posted yesterday on the screen right now? Of course, they are a team that have had an awful season in real life. We've got to see how much better we could have done if I was in charge, and also see how many trophies we can win alongside of this 5-year span. Let's go right into it. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It's completely free and helps out massively. And comment below right now one tactic and one rebuild you want to see. So then, Granada in the game, obviously a team which aren't predicted to do very well. They are a team predicted to finish in 19th place. They've got a 3.5-star reputation, a 3.5-star set of training facilities, 3.5-star youth facilities. Youth recruitment is not looking too great either, so it's not the best of the best when it comes to the Spanish divisions, but they are a team, regardless of that, who have won some trophies in their time. No real big trophies, no offence to any Granada fans, but that is where we come in. We're going to try and win them a big Spanish trophy, and if we can, a big ask would be a European trophy. Now, what they have got going for them, to be fair to them, is a team with some decent players. Of course, if we see right now, we have got the issue, when you first go into a team, you've got players here, we've got quite a fair few players on loan. We've got Vallejo, we've got Batalawa, we've got Palestri, we've also got Masawasa, who, again, players who I can somewhat take or leave. The likes of Palestri, I'm a United fan, and if he starts performing well, I'm going to want to sign him on the permanent. I'm going to say it right now. Jesus is another player who, again, we can potentially look into trying to get, but it all comes down to money at the end of the day, because, as you can imagine, when you start things off with a team like this, we've only got a budget of £860,000, which, again, we spend zero of in the first season, but we have got some decent players. Arizo was a personal favourite of mine in FM 2022, an absolute bagsman, and hopefully he can do somewhat of what he done for me back then in today's video. But the tactic we are using, of course, is going to be Fuente Spain. Now, what the idea of behind this tactic is a very sort of tiki-taka based tactic, short passing, freedom in movement, quite aggressive in terms of the press, and the only thing I'm going to change off the bat is bringing in that advanced forward, because to be honest, he performs there a lot better. It's his most comfortable position, and I want to cater for the players we have got. Now, over the video, you're going to see me change this tactic 10 to 20 times potentially, so make sure you watch the entire video, because they change every single season, and you might think, do you know what, I want that one for my team. So there's a lot going on throughout the video. We're going to stick with the standard defensive line. In possession is going to be exactly the same as well. The first season for me is all about survival, something they couldn't do in real life, and hopefully it's something we can do, as we are playing in the First Division and the Spanish Cup. But they are predicted a finish of almost rock bottom, 19th place. So the real question is, do JoshDaly's tactic work? Let's go have a look. Let's discuss the Spanish Cup then. The one trophy or the one cup we were in, we could have won a trophy, but we didn't, unfortunately. We are going to lose to Athletic Bilbao in the third round. 4-3 as well, but I will say it is against quite a strong team, and realistically, as long as we have stayed up, I really don't mind. So let's go and do the painful thing and see, have we done enough to stay up? I hope we have. Well, this puts any doubt to bed, because this tactic absolutely blew me away. Genuinely, 4th place in the first season, Champions League football, which is a gift and a curse, because unless we have been given a lot of money, we are going to be in the mud when it comes to that competition, because it's way too early. But we did get it done. It was very close, and to be fair, there wasn't separating much between 4th and 2nd place. Below that, a few more points are going to be in the sort of comparisons, but overall, a really strong season, a 4th place finish. None of our players finished anywhere apart from the goalkeeper with the 2nd most clean sheets, or joint first actually. Attacking wise, we might not have been as good as the rest, but we got the job done, only losing 8 out of 38, which I don't think is too bad at all for a new Granada team with 0 signings, getting used to a brand new system. Now, what we are going to see is the money, and I want to see at least 34 million, 35 million, 36, 35 million, 25. It's an absolute kick in the teeth. We can't do anything with that sort of money, to be honest with you. We can attract the players now because we've got Champions League football, but if you go into the squad right now, or tactics will actually look in, and we go by the best 11 right now, you are going to see this. We have got 1 player, 2 player, 2 players in our starting 11. We are reliant on securing those loans into permanent moves, which might not be happening at all. We've got 1 player, obviously, who's out on loan, who's coming back to us, but it appears to be that he's going permanently, and he looks like an absolute baller, so that is a massive loss, losing a player like him. So realistically, we need to replace a lot of people. Palestri, obviously other players as well. If we go to the squad, we can understand the players that we are going to be securing. Arizo had the best season out of anyone when it comes to goals. 16 goals scored. Sergio Ariz with 9 out on loan there, 9, 6. Not too many goals being scored, I will be honest. And assist-wise, of course, isn't going to look too pretty either, because we weren't scoring that many goals. But the likes of Palestri really didn't have a great season, and I'm going to be honest, I don't think I'm going to sign him, because he didn't really perform that well. He's not even a sort of Spanish First Division player. and that is the issue we've got for a lot of these players now. If I just pick a couple at random, for example, we'll go with the likes of Hongla in DM. He's a leading second division player, but not a competitive first division player. If we look at the likes of our left winger, a leading second division player, that's just 2 at random. So we've got a big issue now because we need to go and sign a lot of players that are first team division standard, and that's a lot easier said than done. So I'm going to go away, build up a shortlist as we always do. You seem to be liking that part of the video. Let's go and see who we can shortlist because our options are quite tight. Tried to pick out a mixture of positions, and I'm going to make a bold decision. I'm not going to shortlist any defenders. I'm going to try and work with what I've got at the back, with the addition of trying to sign Vallejo on a permanent contract. Now, the player I shortlisted last video as well is going to be Savio. I'm going to really try and get this player in this rebuild because he's not too much money. He's definitely achievable to obtain, and he looks absolutely phenomenal. As you can see, he's interested in the move as well. He's very young. He's very quick. Great. He's just great at everything. Fantastic dribbling. He's going to fit into the system like an absolute treat, and hopefully that can work. If that doesn't work, a bit more of an expensive option, and probably one which I'm going to say might be unrealistic, but Somerville. We can't afford to buy him, but if we can agree a loan basis at any point down the line, I will get him in regardless of the amount of wage we've got to contribute, because even if I've got to pay 100%, he will be an absolute baller. Of course, the next question is goalkeeper. Do we sign the player that we've got on loan, or do we upgrade and pick up a goalkeeper who is a decent first division player? In my eyes, this is a no-brainer. We've got to go in for Valle right now, and hopefully we can do that. But I will say, he is coming from the Spanish league. They're probably going to take that into account when it comes to the price. Someone like Furman is another midfield player I'm highly considering, also because he's not interested in a transfer, but he might be in a loan. Now, again, I doubt he's going to want to join permanently, but for a first season with limited funding, this might be a really big move. And lastly, we have gone and put Almeida in there because he just looks incredible. And maybe, again, similar to the previous player, we might be able to get him on loan and slowly convince him to join us on the permanent. But to be honest, the pages are wide open because there's so many positions we could strengthen. These are some of the key players I've shortlisted. Let's get into the second transfer window and see exactly who I managed to sign. First player is going to be the loanee in Jesus Vallejo, coming in from Real Madrid. He's a decent player for not much money at all, 2.9 million. Again, a decent first division player. He's pretty much the best of not a bad bunch. That's an insult. He's the best of what we could realistically obtain at the back. We also go and spend quite big on Savio, and yes, it is done in installments, but he would not come on loan, and I wanted this man to be the main man I build this team around for the entire 5-season span of this rebuild, so I've forked out a grand total of £36 million, but you pay for what you get. You also do fork out a grand total of £17 million to bring in the pre-agreed or pre-decided goalkeeper we wanted in Alvaro. Coming in from Las Palmas, a very experienced goalkeeper, and it does complete the transfer window. You can see here also some players going in. We did generate £11 million in a sale from Brian, who I wouldn't have actually sold, but pre-agreed transfer and whatnot, I couldn't do anything about it. Callahan does go, but he is literally 37, turning 38, and Bruno Mendes also is going to go for 1.6 million. But of course, the team now does look a little bit something like this. So we are going to have Valle in goal. We are going to have Richard Sanchez, Vallejo, Miguel Neva, Hongla, Ruiz, Melendo, Savio, Boye, and Arizo up front. And the bench, I will say, I'm not going to sugarcoat things, it's not looking the best of the best. The positive is, out of this team, we've only now got one player who is on loan, and that is going to be Maximo Alonso. So we've definitely sort of got rid of a lot of the loan players, so we're not as reliant on that, but the depth isn't the best of the best, I'm not going to lie, but hopefully it's enough to try and, you know, stay competitive. We've got to be realistic though. We are playing now in 4 competitions, literally double to what we were playing last season, so there is going to be an expectation of a league drop-off, because more games, more stress, more chance of injuries, you know anything. If you watch football, you know what I'm talking about. More fixtures equals more worries. Now, we are predicted a finish of a round about 10th place, which, to be honest, I'm not expecting top 4 again. I will take top 8 happily for this season. It sounds weird me saying that, but I understand how much more stress this puts on the players. So we're going to see what we can do in the Champions League as well. I'm not expecting loads and loads though, because it's a big ask to even get past the group phase in our first season with a team like this. But hopefully, with a couple of new additions to the team, maybe the goalkeeper, Savio, obviously making that centre-back sign and permanent, that hopefully has fueled the team for a bit of a better future. So let's go into the second season and see exactly what we can cook up. So we're going to start things off, and do you know what? I am not too annoyed in the Champions League, because we got past the league phase and we actually got to the round of 16, where we did lose against Real Madrid, but do you know what? It was only 2-1. It wasn't a battering, it's a fair result. Now this is a bit of a heartbreak. Against Badalona in the Spanish Cup, we lost 3-1 in the 3rd round. That's not acceptable. We also go all the way to the semi-final against Real Madrid in the Spanish Super Cup, where unfortunately we are going to lose against them. But do you know what? At the end of the day, they are a very, very strong team. I'm not too annoyed about that. And when it comes to the league, we've done what I didn't think was possible. We maintain Champions League. So it's back-to-back Champions League in 2 seasons, which is absolutely nuts. A very, very strong season. You can see here again, only losing 7 games out of all of the games played. Winning 22, drawing 9. I don't know if we go to the homepage, we can get a bit of an understanding here. We were the 2nd best when it comes to scoring and the 4th best when it comes to goals conceded. So we are actually playing to what we are sort of performing as. So we're not really got a weakness at the moment, but obviously we've not got the team to really get the job done in terms of winning any league titles. Now the squad, we are looking at a total of 27 goals for a player like Ariza, who has come in and is simply performing very, very well. Granted, at the moment there's a lot of down arrows going on, but he hit the form running at the start of the season, got his 27 goals, and towards the end might have dropped off a little bit, but still a really strong season. 15 for Savio, Lucas Boye with 12, 10 for Oscar, Ruiz with 7. So we are going to have 4 players with 10 or more goals, which is something. We are slowly getting there, making a team not as reliant purely on one man, but of course, at the moment, there is still a lot of pressure on Arizo to be bagging the goals. We've got 20 assists for Savio, by the way, who I think is actually going to be our best performer. So it just goes to show, sometimes spending the money on one incredible player can change your entire season. And he has come in, hit the ground running, and he's not left me with any question marks. He is worth every single penny, and this guy is going to be in the team literally forever, for the entirety of this rebuild. Now, I will say, money-wise, we have been given a budget of £25 million exactly. So very similar to the last season. Not too much we can do unless we can work more magic with installments, which you can only do so much before it starts to bite you a little bit. So we're going to see what we can do. And I want to quickly take a second to say, if you do want to carry on this rebuild towards the end of it, after Season 5, you can do so by joining the Patreon. The link is going to be in the description below, and you get over 13 perks, and you've still got time to enter that 300 Great British Pounds PayPal giveaway by becoming a member below in the description. But we are going to see this as a positive. It's a good back-to-back season. Now, of course, I have gone and built a shortlist because this team, as lovely it is to look at, we need to improve multiple areas. We need to improve the backup as well. It's not just the first team. So what I've done is I've gone and I've built a shortlist pre-made for the video, and we have got a lot of players now, and I'm targeting big names. Now, some of it we're not going to talk about because we have done that before, but we do need to talk about centre-backs, centre-back options. The first player I want is going to be Amenda. Now, this is a player who would cost me an arm and a leg, but again, similar to Savio, he would be in the team forever, for the entire rebuild. From Frankfurt, £32 million, I'm saying it casually, that's our entire bank balance. Well, if we can't afford him, there is also the likes of Pacho, again, a player who is very similar to the previous player, better at things, worse at other things. He's very similar, though, in terms of, like, you are going to get a very good quality defender who is very similarly aged, just 2 years older, so still quite young. But just in case that is unrealistic and we can't make it happen, I have gone down to somebody like Leon Diaz, I believe how you say that. Hopefully he is going to be a player who would want to join. He's 23 years of age, he's played in the Swiss Super League, so again, the attraction should be there. He is extremely interested. Is he as good as the other two? Of course not, but he could get the job done, and credit due where credit is due. He's got good acceleration, good pace, and good tackling. Basically the 3 things you need to be a good centre-back. So overall, he might actually be a really good go-to option. Of course, another player is going to be Mika Marmo, a player who, to be honest with you, I don't usually sign all the time because I want to try and get an all-and-out centre-back, but on this occasion when we're trying to cover 2 positions, he might be a good go-to. He's quick enough to play left-back, and of course quick enough to play as a centre-back, and he's only 23. And of course he's Spanish. In fact, he might actually be a really good option, so I'm going to take back what I said about him because he could be a really good shout. We then go and look at some wing-backs because our wing-backs are sort of like mediocre for this league. Maffeo is a really good option coming in from Mallorca, previously of Stuttgart. 27 years of age, so no young buck, but at the end of the day, he's still quick, good tackling, incredible tackling actually, 15 tackling, good work rate, good stamina. He can put a cross in as well. He's actually a really good option for a wing back. Furman, I'm probably going to leave for now. We then also look at a left back. Now, this is going to be a bold one because I don't know how much wage he's going to want to go from PSG to us, but he is going to be a Guindo. Now, this is very similar to the right back. He's quick, can deliver, and got decent tackling. I am looking at the basics because we can't have everything at this level. We can't have a winger or a wing back who can shoot, can do skills, skills, all of this. We need the basics. Quick, can cross, and can tackle. That's exactly what I'm after. In terms of everybody else, of course, we don't need another goalkeeper, but I have shortlisted this guy as backup in case we do need a backup goalkeeper. And the other player I want to talk about is going to be Solar, because he is a player who potentially could come in as a competitive first team / backup fullback who looks very, very good. Again, he's quick, good fitness, crossing's okay, tackling's fairly good for his age as well, and he's Spanish, so it helps with the registration as well. So this could be a real go-to option. So we have got a big shortlist, probably one of the biggest we have done on this channel actually, because there's so many areas we can strengthen. Let's go and see how far we can stretch 25 million. We made it happen. We went out and signed a mender from Frankfurt, obviously one of the real discussed centre-backs, and it did cost me a fair bit of money. It cost me £36 million, and a lot of that was done in instalments. Only 9 million was paid up front, so a big instalment signing, but one similar to Savio that is going to be with us for the future, and genuinely players like this are capable of winning you league titles, so we need this quality in the team. He looks incredible, so welcome into him. Then go and pick up Solar, again a player who to be fair only cost me £9 million, which again was done in instalments, but I do think a player like him, he isn't anything flash, but is a needed option. Not on the shortlist, but when you're getting scouted a player like Soppy for a total fee of 6.7 million, you can't really turn him down at right back. And right back is now going to be pretty locked in, as we are going to loan in Fresneda with an option to buy him after. So we have now got Fresneda and Soppy as backup right back and competitive right backs to compete for that position. That right back position is one of the most well-rotated areas of the team by some distance now. But of course that does finish the transfers. No outgoings in this page. On the previous page, free players going out there. But overall the team is now getting a bit of structure. And as you can see, we are changing things in terms of who gets into the team. So it is going to be Valles in goal. We've got Fresneda who gets in filtered by the best 11. We've got Amenda, we've got Miguel, we've got Neva, we've got Hongla, we've got Melendo, we've got Ruiz, we've got Boy, we've got Savio, and we've got Arizo. Now, yes, you're probably thinking the same thing as me. Josh, the midfield. And that's exactly what we're going to invest in the third season. But this is a very long-term project of a rebuild. I'm not expecting to get things done and win everything in 3 seasons. I would like to see us win a Spanish Cup, ideally in the third season. Something like that I will take happily, but we'll see what happens. It's still quite a big ask. We're going to make sure we register everybody, as we've got a lot of top talent in this team now. Of course, we are playing in the same 4 competitions: the Spanish First Division, the Champions League, the Cup, and the Super Cup, and they are predicting a finish of 9th place, so one better off placement than what we were predicted last season. To be fair, we have got a better team, so let's get into the third season, and I'm begging we can win any Spanish trophy. Anything. Spanish Cup final, we step and we score with Arizo to make it 1-0 inside of 11 minutes, and a great set piece there, and it is the new man Amenda to make it 2-0, and they do get a goal back here in the 64th minute with Anarchy Williams, but it meant nothing. Trophy won. It'll be deja vu when it comes to the Spanish Super Cup, knocked out again in the semi-finals against Real Madrid. They are a powerhouse team though, we can't be too annoyed. And sometimes my tactics even surprise me. We're going to be in a Champions League final against Liverpool, which we do take the lead in inside of 9 minutes of a penalty. Liverpool do Liverpool things, and they've got some really good players. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. Their talent is absolutely ridiculous. A great finish there from their new man, Big Kavar, coming in. What a signing in the 84th minute. But 113 minutes, Solar into Azuni, who plays it back into the middle, into Vila on the turn, and we are going to win a Champions League. That is right, we are Champions League winners in Season 3 with this Granada team. Now, we have taken a bit of a hit in the Spanish First Division. We are down in 8th place. I will say 3 teams all on 60 points, and then literally, it was so close, to be fair, but we've got Champions League again through winning the Champions League. The hardest way to do it: Arizo, second top goal scorer joint. We've got Savio, the third best performer, most assists in the league. We are playing really well, and to be honest, I'll have an off-season in the First Division for a Champions League win, meaning we've actually won 2 trophies in 1 season, which is remarkable. And I do want to say this right now, I'm going to be annoyed if I'm not seeing £50 million in that transfer budget. 40-50 million. We've won you a Champions League. Have some respect, and we're going to see. I'm absolutely fuming with that. That's absolutely disgusting. £30 million, an absolute joke. We're going to see what we can try and do, but that is a disgrace. Disgraceful football club, that is shocking. I'm expecting big money investment. I'm gonna have a word with them, because that is an absolute joke. But going over to the squad, we are going to be looking at 37 goals for Arizo, and you got to ask yourself, between me and you now, is this going to be a player who is going to leave? Because he's won the Champions League with us, so he's going to be wanted by a lot of clubs. He's 23, his whole life ahead of him. he's valued at quite an achievable transfer fee for a lot of teams. Hopefully we can try and keep him, but it's going to be hard. Savio with 23 goals, 21 coming in for Lucas Boy, who has gone under the radar, but he has been some performer, so fair play, Lucas, mate. You're impressing me a lot. 8 goals there coming in for our new man at the back, and Ruiz contributing with 8 as well. Assist-wise, 24 for Savio, and that is going to be back-to-back seasons. He is going to be our player of the year. The highest average rating, 23 goals, 24 assists, 71 to 90 million. I'm not afraid about him leaving because he has got way too much of a transfer value for a lot of teams to pay it. So we're going to keep him. But a lot of players are going to be sort of in that sort of talk, are we going to stay, are we going to leave? Now, a player that isn't going to leave is going to be Fresneda, because we have got the option to buy him, so we are going to make sure we do that, because he is one for the future, and although he didn't play every single game at right back, he did have a good time when he did play, so we are going to keep him. The team, though, man, is looking very, very strong. Filtered by the best 11, this is going to be the outcome, exactly the same. A really strong team. But, of course, there's always areas to improve. Mainly the midfield now is going to be where the money is going to be spent. And I have gone to the effort to make a shortlist, and I've deleted some players, brought some players in, and I've had a little heads up about a lot of players that are being released on the free who are interested in moves. Ruben Neves, who I will take. For me, I do not mind signing older players. I do not mind doing it because they get you success for the now. And sometimes you need that success for the now so you can get more money to buy players for the future. So I do not mind signing older players in Ruben Neves. Gabri Veiga is not even old. He's 24. If we can get him in, that'll be an incredible signing on the free. Obviously, you've got the likes of Kesse, who might not come. He might come. We'll see what we can do. He would be an absolute ridiculous signing. A 5-star ball and midfield player. 4.5-star box-to-box. You don't get much better than this. Now, the backup striker I really want in this team is going to be Dia. Now, he might even become first team, depending on how many goals he's bagging in, how he performs against Arizo, but he appears not to be that much money, and I think we can sort of get him for this transfer value, which would be more than achievable, of course. Now, we are looking at a couple more centre-backs, because you can never have too many youthful centre-backs, and some of ours are still second division quality. Obviously, we've got Levi Colwell. He's in here mainly because we can loan him and then buy him, so potentially that is going to be a good shout. This is the main man I want. I've never used him, but he looks incredible. He looks like a tank. 15 acceleration, 14 pace, 16 strength, good work rate, 15 tackling, and he's 24 years of age. Alongside of that, we have got Garcia, and as a last resort, we have got Riyadh. Now, I say last resort, he is a good player, but he would not be my go-to choice out of all of these 4. So that is going to be our shortlist going into the 4th transfer window. We can't sign all of them. We can probably sign a couple of them. Let's see what we can happen. Hopefully, we can welcome in Neves, Veiga, and hopefully Big Boy Biomo. Just to clarify, we have got a Fresneda on the permanent for a total fee of 12.2 million. Says decides, do you know what, I'm going to give up the Saudi football and go to the Spanish league. He's going to move on the free. We are paying a wage of £87,000 a week, which isn't too bad compared to what he was on, and he is going to be right into the team. He is a machine. Our own Portuguese magician, Ruben Neves, is going to come in on £83,000 a week. Again, coming from the Saudi league, we are poaching these players and getting them on the free. This could be our season. Come on then, we'll have another one, another free signing from the Saudi league. That is going to be Gabri Veiga, again on the free. They lost 34 million already from that bit of business, which isn't it's pennies for them, isn't it, really? But for us, this is going to be one of our biggest players. He's a very high earner, though, on £96,000 a week. A lot of money, but hopefully we can make the most of him, is what I'm trying to say, because it's a big investment to have him on this amount of money per week. But if he comes in and he dominates, I'm not going to blink 2 eyes. And the reason why, well, you might have saw it when I was hovering over this player before. I was trying to speak to his agent. He was actually on the market for a free signing. So again, we spent literally £0 on this player, and we have got a very good first division player. Literally a very good first division player. He's quick, great composure, great finishing. We have got 4 players here who technically could be classed as really good players, all without spending a single penny. And this guy's only on 34 grand a week. We didn't go and spend money directly. We did loan him in, again, with the option to buy, setting us back a total of 6.7 million. We were running out of wage budget and real money in general. So we've gone over, we've loaned him, given him a shot, because again, he wasn't my first sign-in choice. So we'll see what he can do. But overall, guys, this is probably one of the best transfer windows we have seen. We've spent 33 million and got in Fresneda, Kesse, Neves, Veiga, Dia, and Riyadh. We have brought in so many new players, nearly half a team, and the team now looks like this. Look at the midfield from one season ago to this. It is so different, and it is now so good. We've got Valles in goal, Fresneda, Amenda, Riyad, Neva, Neves, Vega, Kesse, Boye, Savio, and Arizo. The bench is naturally going to be stronger because we have got players who were in the first team now as backup, so they are going to still be decent. This team is ridiculous, so I want to get into the fourth season. No more waffling. Let's get right into it. Smash a like on the video. So we're going to start off with that Super Cup where we actually play Newcastle. We get off to a very good start here with Savio, again, proving how good he can be, individual quality inside of 24 minutes. They do bounce back, to be fair, just 3 minutes after with a great goal there from Rego, but we are going to come out and win this cup final at the start. With 73 minutes on the clock, Savio finds his man in Vega, his first competitive goal. Are going to be your runners-up in the Spanish Super Cup. Again, we simply can't get past Real Madrid in this competition. No, I've not included the clip same time back to back. Again, it's going to be another exit to Real Madrid. This time it is going to be in the Spanish Cup. We lose 5-4 over 2 legs. It's close, but close doesn't win the prize. And the fact we nearly had the opportunity to win back-to-back Champions Leagues, we got to the semi-final, we did get battered against Liverpool, but overall, still a very strong display in that Champions League. To win it and then get to the semi-final with this team is remarkable. But where did we finish in the league? Well, we finished in 4th place. Now, we may as well just be known as the 4th place team because we finished at 3 out of 4 seasons. This is pretty much where we are, and I do think we are going to be reliant in the 5th season of making the correct signings to sort of tailor it to the league, because obviously the bigger picture, we want to win the league and a European trophy in a 5-year span. We've got 1 more year to do it, and obviously we've also got a bank on Barcelona and Madrid somewhat having a dip in form, which obviously they can do. They don't win every single game at the moment. Arizo's still being the main man, to be honest, when it comes to the goals, so it's not really that we're going to be worried about too much. But we go to the homepage, obviously it's just going to be the 1 trophy now, but we look at this, to be fair, and a little heads up for you back at home. I always look at where I finish in the league table and compare it to where I am sort of ranking in the team stats. So we're sort of overperforming when it comes to goals scored and just underperforming by 1 place when it comes to the goals conceded. Obviously, we finished 4th, 5th when it comes to conceding goals. So we're underperforming a little bit in that regard. So maybe we need some more centre-back signings. Of course, the team, we are looking at the stats here, and Arizo has always been that guy, man. But we have now got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players actually scoring 10 plus goals in the season, so he is getting help. And look at this, 15, 15 and 13, all from the free signings, all having above a 7.0 rating in the season. They absolutely cooked for free signings, so that has helped out big time. But for the last transfer window, I think I've earned the respect for at least a £40 million. Come on, 40 million big ones. I'll take it. £43 million to take into the last and the final transfer window. Of course, not the best season realistically, only 1 trophy, but we can redeem ourselves with 1 last season. Let's get into it, but of course, we need to look at the shortlist. And for the shortlist, we are going to be looking at these players, and it is going to look almost the same. The additional players is going to include the likes of Kuna. Now, this is a player, again, who is going to be on the free. He looks incredible, can play on the left, on the right, in the midfield, and up front. He could be an option if I feel that we need it when I go over to the squad. Reece Nelson, if you watch my other channel when it was up, the Roma rebuild, this guy coming on the free for me, which I think we can get him now on the free. He picked up 42 assists over all competitions in 1 season. So he is an absolute baller. Luca Netz, I really want into the team as a first team left back. So we're going to see what we can do in that regard. Colwill, potentially loan him in. Same with Eric Garcia. But the main man I want out of this entire list, if I could pick one, would be this guy. But I don't think it's going to happen because he's valued at £84 million. So we'll see what can happen. We've only got 43 million. Let's go work up some magic. The first player on the free is going to be Reece Nelson, coming in from Arsenal and, of course, previously Feyenoord. I said a little bit about why I wanted him before, so I'm not going to dig into too much detail. He's on 58 grand a week, and I know what this guy can do. Also, I'm going to pick up Kuna from Wolverhampton. He sent me back only 42 grand a week, and he literally come for £0. Wolves lost 43 million on that bit of business, by the way, so a big loss for them, but a big gain for us. Didn't have him on the shortlist, but I didn't understand how good this guy was. He is 28 years of age, but again, you know I love him. He is going to literally be a free signing, so you can't really complain in that regard. His attributes are very well rounded, and again, he is older, I'm aware of this, but he is going to get us some short-term glory. Luca Netz is going to be on loan and, of course, joining permanently, as you can see there, after the loan spell, a total fee of £5 million. And again, he might not even get into the first team right away, but after a good, strong season, hopefully, he is going to be clear of any left back at this club. We also do have another loanee player, and again, not on the shortlist, but one of the players that was realistic and approaching, that is going to be Nianzou, coming in on loan and joining permanently, as you can see here, on loan for an 8.5 million fee, and this guy is an absolute man mountain. Treated myself big. I've gone with Thuram. Now, he sent me back £75 million, and yes, a lot of it is done in installments, but this guy is the complete package for a midfield player. He can potentially become a leading first division player. He just looks incredibly well balanced, so well rounded, and will go into the team without a shadow of doubt. So it does break it down as an £80 million transfer window, with 75 of that being spent on one player. No players on the outgoing, and even on this page, 8.5 mil when it comes to bringing in Nianzou, and the team now looks a little bit like this. And we are going to have some tactical changes as well. I will go over those at the end of the video, exactly what we've done, but overall a really strong looking team now. And as you can see, we've got Valles, we've got Soppy, Nianzou, Amenda, we've got Neva at left back, we've got Neves, Vega, Drewsbury Hall, Savio, Nelson, and Matthias Cunha up front. And the bench, I mean, when your bench has got Fresneda, Dia, Thuram, Arizo, Vallejo, Lucanets, the team is looking incredible. We genuinely can win the Spanish First League now with a team like this, and we are of course playing in the 4 competitions as we were before, and they are predicting a finish of 4th place. Pretty accurate, but I think we can at least end on a high and at least improve on 4th place. So we do get to the Spanish Cup final against Real Madrid, where unfortunately Vinicius Jr. gets a little bit lucky there with a bounce back, but Victor Osimhen, yes, they've got him as well, makes it 1-0 in 25 minutes. We do bounce back here with Neves into Solar, into Drewsbury Hall, back into Solar, a ball in the box, a beautiful ball to be fair, and a great finish to equalise, but unfortunately they go on and they do get their goal to win it with Valverde down the right, back into the middle, and it's a bit of a lucky finish, but it is what it is. The Spanish Super Cup, I'm convinced we are somewhat fixed in, because we can't get past the semi-final, losing it this time on penalties. And I feel like we peaked at the Champions League quite early on, to be fair, as we are going to lose in the semi-finals again, on penalties again. Never a nice feeling going out to 2 competitions, both on penalties, but it is what it is, because we have won the Spanish First Division by 2 points, a very close season, Savio being the first top goal scorer joint, being the best performer overall, our goalkeeper picking up the most clean sheets. We really did turn up, and to be fair, Real Madrid and Barcelona didn't even really have a rocky season. Well, Barcelona did, Madrid didn't. They were very close with us. Did we actually, I don't know if we beat them or lost to them, whatever happened, but we genuinely had one of them seasons where we just touched up on a few draws, we touched up on a few losses, and we got the job done. Now, of course, that does mean the last season is going to be, again, a 1-trophy season, but overall, talking generally, we have done a lot for this club. We really have. We have won them a Champions League, a Spanish First Division, a Spanish Cup, and a Super Cup. We have won them 4 trophies in 5 seasons, and one of them is the biggest trophy in world football, which makes it, in my opinion, 10 trophies. It's a big rebuild, a massive rebuild, and I'm now going to set you the challenge to get this rebuild file, and I want you to try and win a treble with this team. Send me your screenshots. I saw it last week, actually. A load of people signed up to the Patreon, and you completed my challenge in about 2 days. So do you know what? Fair play to you, but I'm going to keep setting your challenges, because I know FM players, a true FM player loves a challenge. So that is going to be your challenge to win the treble. No transfer embargo. You can sign who you want. No editor, though. No editor. I'm going to say that very clear. But of course, going over to the tactics, this is what I've done to actually sort of finalise this. Again, if you want to get the rebuild file and the tactic, you can get them over on the Patreon in the link below, where you can obviously join the group chat. We've got over 4,500 people. You get access to all of my tactics, all the rebuild files. You get priority in the tactic requests and the rebuild requests. You get access to giveaways and so much more. It is really a good community. I'm not just saying that as well purely to plug it. It is genuinely a really nice place. We all come together and have a good conversation. But this tactic, the one thing I wanted to change about it going into the last season was take more risks. So I mean, in possession, things don't change too much, to be fair. Really getting the fullbacks involved with the overlap and options, as we did in transition. Get the counter press going, really get, set the tempo, get it aggressive, get it high pressing, get stuck in. And as you can see here, when it comes to out of possession, we never really did trial the high defensive line. We kept it as standard and it worked really well, but what I did turn to do was obviously changing the wingers to attack. Obviously, the one big change from the start was the advanced forward, and I did change the Mazzala from an advanced playmaker to a Mazzala, and obviously, we'll see by the stats, I imagine, we had some pretty key performers, and it appears to be that Vega was one of those that benefited from a tactical change. 16 assists for him. We've got 20 and 20 from Savio and Drewsbury Hall. Reece Nelson, Again, bit of heads up for you, an incredible free signing, 17 and 18 goals, Savio 27 and 20, 24 and 6 for Kuna, again, great bit of free business, Arizo 14 and 12, and if we filter by the transfer value now, look at all these players. We've got all of these players that are valued at around about 40 million upwards, and most of them were actually signed on the free, so it has been an incredible bit of business as well when it comes to this club. We have done a fantastic job rebuilding them. Hopefully you have enjoyed it. If you have, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments below what you want to see next, and I'll see you tomorrow. We do daily posts on here right now, so get the notification bell on, and I'll see you in the next one.